Let's talk a bit of American politics here, a bit of Trump chat. Are you on or off the Trump train? Well, a man who's, right up there in first class, as close to the president as he possibly could be, is a member of the Republican Party out of Florida. His name is Ziegler. We've had him on the show before, and he joins us now from the US. Good morning, your time. Good evening, our time, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, Paul. I appreciate you having me on again. This is a great show. You're doing great work over there.
God love you. We're trying to do our bit here. Now, so today, the lefties are in absolute conniptions, as they always are. You'd think they'd run out of energy after a while, sort of living at this particular level of outrage all the way through. But God forbid, the President of the United States pointed out that there are parts of the United States where Democrat politicians have run the local, state and federal representation for decades, and poverty abounds everywhere.
No, you're exactly right. So obviously the president has highlighted the issues going on in Baltimore. The left did everything they can to really make this about race, which if you read his tweets, it has nothing to do about race and everything to do with holding failed politicians accountable. And obviously we all know that the left and the lefties, they don't want accountability. But President Trump is speaking it how it is. He's highlighting a city that's been a complete failure because of Democrat leadership. I think the top 10 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrats. Baltimore, their 3 past mayors have gotten into a lot of legal trouble. The president's highlighting it, focused on it. And a lot of his policies are going to help those people, but the representatives directly for that area have really done nothing. And that's what he's highlighting.
Now, what we're talking about here is a series of tweets that are all in reference to an American politician called Elijah Cummings. Now, obviously, people in Australia are not going to be fully across who this person is, what their histories are that are around. But here's what he decided to write in the past couple of days, and this is what started all of the nonsense. He said that Representative Elijah Cummings has been a brutal bully, shouting and screaming at the great men and women of the Border Patrol about conditions on the southern border, when actually his Baltimore district is far worse and more dangerous. His district is considered the worst in the USA, as proven last week during a congressional tour. The border is clean, efficient and well run, just very crowded. Cummings' district is disgusting, rat and rodent infested mess. If he spent more time in Baltimore, maybe he could help clean up this very dangerous and filthy place. But of course, because the congressman is a black man, somehow this was a racist comment that he was making. Here's the truth. During the 2016 election, Donald Trump as candidate said, why would you keep voting for the same people? Why would you keep sending the same people back who have changed nothing about your circumstances? That, to me, is what he's saying again in the lead up to 2020.
No, you're exactly right. And I think when you look at that tweet, there's nothing about race in that tweet. You almost have to be racist to find race in that tweet because you're so hyper-focused on race. But what's going on is the president is defending our Border Patrol. He's doing everything he can to lock down that border, and he's supporting law enforcement. All 3 of those things, the Democrats are asleep at the wheel, and they're not just not supporting them, they're attacking them, which is really insulting to this country because we need to protect our borders. And the president's going to do that. But when he goes and he takes action, the Democrats are there to not just resist, but now they're calling him racist for calling out these failed politicians. And the truth is, if they would stop attacking ICE, they would stop all these ridiculous investigations of the president, and they would join him, our country would be in such better shape. I mean, we look right now with Donald Trump just acting by himself, with the Democrats doing everything they can to work against him. We have record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanics, females, Asians, people without college degrees. Our economy is booming because of Donald Trump, one man only. And I wish Congress and the Democrats would get their stuff together and start working with this president.
Christian, this time later in the week, there is going to be a couple of debates with all of the people who are lining up to challenge and, in my view, lose to Trump in 2020. We know that Kamala Harris was able to put one on Joe Biden, and that became sort of the narrative coming out of the last debate. Biden, for Australians, is probably the only one they really know. Obviously, Bernie Sanders, a couple of others there. Do you think that we're going to see more of a fighting Biden, or sort of the myth of Biden will get exposed yet again when all of those challengers get together on CNN?
Well, I think Joe Biden had a disastrous first debate. It was embarrassing. It was low energy, low excitement. And the American people just don't want that on both sides. So he's got to challenge this debate. He's got to show energy. He's got to show fight. But then he's going to have all of the Democrats. This is the time to move. It's kind of like a horse race. You know, you can have that lead horse take you around the first couple turns, but at some point you got to break to overcome that horse. And I think that's what you're going to see during these debates. They're going to aggressively go after Joe Biden. Started. And really, Joe Biden, you know, he might be too moderate for the new Democrat Party, which is flaming left socialists. I mean, I thought Joe Biden was a far lefty, but there are people in this race that are going to fundamentally change this country, and they're going to be going after Joe Biden, sharing what their vision is and how they want to fundamentally change, but also fundamentally destroy this country, I believe. And that's what we're going to see during these debates.
Yeah, Christian, all the best. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks so much, Paul. Have a great day.
Good on you, mate. Christian Ziegler, part of the Republican Party in Florida. We'll talk to him and many others from the US in the next little while.